The Kingdom movie review. So I don't know if anyone remembers this movie. This came out in 2007, and at the time it was kind of advertised as like a topical current events thinking movie. You know, a number of these movies had been kind of coming out about America's involvement in the Middle East, or America's quagmire in the Middle East. And this was one of those movies that kind of featured American soldiers in the Middle East that was supposed to be linked to current events. But it's not really at all an intelligent commentary on U.S.-Saudi relationships. There were a number of other movies that came out during this period that were much more intelligent about America's war on terror. But this is essentially a commentary on America in the Middle East, the same way Predator was a commentary on America and American soldiers in South American politics. Sorry, I bungled that analogy. Point being, it's just kind of using Saudi Arabia as a backdrop for just kind of a very boring action movie. It's not really much of an intelligent commentary. The only point that the film does make, and I guess to give credit where it's due, this is a good point to be reminded of, is it does kind of remind us that the terrorist extremists were coming out of Saudi Arabia. For example, that 9/11 hijacking, those terrorists, I think all but one of them were Saudi Arabian, which is easy to forget because it so quickly got blamed on Afghanistan and Iraq. And I guess Afghanistan was kind of harboring Al-Qaeda. So there was kind of a connection there, sort of, but everyone immediately forgot that the terrorists themselves actually came from Saudi Arabia. Maybe they forgot in part because Saudi Arabia was a strong U.S. ally, so the White House was not eager to emphasize the fact that these terrorists were coming from Saudi Arabia. But you know, it's a point. I mean, the other thing I've kind of realized over the years, I mean, Iran gets kind of so much bad publicity in the U.S., and some of it is deserved, don't get me wrong. But Iran is actually so much more moderate compared to Saudi Arabia in terms of like the version of Islam practiced over there. And yet Iran gets kind of painted as a crazy extremist, where Saudi Arabia, because they're a U.S. ally, we just usually gloss over that a lot. I should mention, actually, I'm going to feel guilty if I don't mention this. In my years kind of teaching English abroad and kind of living in expatriate communities, I've met a number of Saudi Arabian people. Some of my classmates when I was studying in Melbourne doing an applied linguistics degree were Saudi Arabian, and they were just absolutely lovely people. So I shouldn't make it sound like Saudi Arabia is an absolutely terrible place. But it is, yeah. I guess you have to balance these kind of things with nuance. But it is nonetheless worth noting that the Islamic extremists were coming out of Saudi Arabia, not Iran or Iraq and Afghanistan. Anyways, the plot of this movie is mildly interesting. It's sort of a mystery story trying to piece together clues and figure out who did the latest terrorist attack. So there's a terrorist attack. It's kind of a whodunit. They're trying to piece together the clues. Spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil the ending. If you're kind of hoping that this is going to be one of these exciting mysteries where they piece together the pieces and it's like an intellectual puzzle, just forget about that. Because the way they find the terrorists at the end is the terrorists just kind of jump out and attack them. And that's how they find them in the end. The dialogue of the movie is awful. It's just terrible. The jokes are especially awful. but the whole movie has kind of like this corny, cliched tone. Like all the characters are talking in movie cliches. The camera, they're going for that kind of shaky cam look, which was popular a few years ago. You know, like it's not a reality movie, but to make it look like it's a reality movie. I don't know why. I guess, yeah, to just give it a sense of realism or to be hip or cool. And the action sequences, it straight out made me nauseous. But even in the quiet talking parts, the camera is just constantly bouncing up and down. I hated it.